Hi everyone, welcome back. If you have ever felt completely out of control around food or like you can't trust your hunger and your fullness signals, then this video is for you. Today we're talking about something called mechanical eating, otherwise known as structured eating. And it's honestly one of the most powerful, gentle tools used in binge eating and bulimia recovery in particular. This approach is used worldwide in eating disorder recovery programs, and it's not to control your eating. Instead, it's used to stabilize it. This is not a diet. There's no calorie counting, no good or bad foods, no perfection involved. It's really about rebuilding the trust between your body and your brain, your mind, and food itself. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Susie. I'm a binge and emotional eating therapist. This work focuses primarily on women, but men are also welcome, absolutely, in ending binge and emotional eating without willpower, without cutting out foods, without calorie counting, weight loss drugs, surgery, starting over every Monday. So what exactly is mechanical eating? Well, it's an approach first outlined in evidence-based treatments like CBTE, otherwise known as cognitive behavioural therapy for eating disorders. It was developed by Dr. Christopher Fairburn at Oxford. And basically it means eating at regular intervals, usually every kind of 3 to 4 hours. It does differ from person to person, but this is kind of the standard practice. And it's regardless of whether you feel hungry at the moment or not. So it's a way of creating stability for a system that has otherwise been in chaos, essentially, because of all the up and downs. So if you've spent years dieting, restricting, binging, or saving calories for later, your body's hunger and fullness cues have probably become unreliable. You have your hormones like ghrelin, leptin, insulin, even cortisol. They can get kind of skewed. So your body stops trusting that food will arrive when it needs it. So what mechanical eating does, it takes hunger out of the equation for now, and it replaces it with rhythm. You eat by the clock, not by craving, and that consistency helps your body relearn, like food is always coming, you're always safe, it's always available. You adopt more of an abundance mindset instead of a deficit or restricted mindset. So why do our hunger cues stop working? Well, let's break that down a little bit more. When you've been through repeated restriction, your body adapts. So leptin, which is the hormone that signals satiety, it helps you feel full, that drops. And ghrelin, which signals hunger, becomes erratic and your metabolism slows down also to protect you. This is not failure, it is survival. It is your body working over the decisions that have been made either by you or someone else. So then when you eat again, your brain says, oh my God, quick, stock up whilst we can. And that's why you might binge even when you're not hungry, because your body doesn't really trust that more food is coming. So instead of relying on hunger signals that have been damaged by restriction, we feed consistently first. So once that trust is then rebuilt, hunger cues usually come back on their own. The time frame does differ from person to person, but this is the pattern that I've seen over and over again. The first way mechanical eating helps is by restoring regular eating patterns. So when you go long stretches without food, your blood sugar drops, your mood dips, and your cravings spike. And that's when the, oh, I'll just have a little bit moment kind of snowballs into a full binge for a lot of people. So eating every 3 to 4 hours keeps your blood sugar and energy stable, and your hormones also start to regulate as well. And you no longer experience that kind of frantic primal hunger that makes it impossible to stop once you start. Primal hunger is very different to biological hunger. It's the kind of hunger that just takes over and makes you do stuff, it feels like. So think of it like feeding a baby or a pet. You wouldn't wait until they're hysterical before feeding them. You feed them consistently because they need it. And your body deserves the same. Your body deserves consistency. The second benefit is that it rebuilds body trust. So each time you eat on schedule, you teach your nervous system that food is reliable, it's available, and it doesn't have to panic anymore. That panic is what drives the binging for a lot of people. And so when your body finally starts to believe that nourishment is coming regularly, I should say your body and your brain, because obviously they're working together, that urgency to overeat starts to fade, and you stop eating out of fear and you start eating out of care and what you actually want. I tell my clients, like, every planned meal is a reassurance to your brain that you are safe, and I will keep you fed, and that safety is what starts dissolving food anxiety and obsessive thoughts. The third way it helps is by interrupting the binge restrict cycle. So the binge restrict pattern is kind of like a pendulum, in that you binge, you restrict, and you feel shame, and then you binge again. And mechanical eating stops the swing by feeding consistently on both sides of that equation. So you're no longer making up for binges with restriction, you're not earning food or saving calories. You eat regularly no matter what happened yesterday. And that consistency stabilizes your biology, your physiology, and your mindset, so there's no extreme rebound later. And eventually what happens is your body learns that there's no famine coming, so it doesn't need to overeat anymore, and it starts to trust you that you're going to feed it more regularly, essentially. I know that sounds a little bit woo-woo, but that's the best way of describing it, really. Number 4 is one of my favorites, actually, and something that no one really talks about is that it reduces decision fatigue. So if you have ADHD, anxiety, or just a busy life, constant food decisions can feel exhausting. What should I eat? Have I earned it? Should I wait? Do I maybe skip a meal? How much longer? And every time you make a decision, your brain uses energy. So by the end of the day, willpower feels, depleted, if not gone. And that's when impulsive eating happens. So with structured eating, it removes the need to negotiate, and you follow the plan, you eat regularly, and suddenly food takes up less mental space, not more. And finally, mechanical eating helps with emotional regulation. When you're underfed, your body's stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline shoot up. Everything can feel a lot more intense. You might have experienced jaw clenching, things like this, maybe shaking. You're just more reactive, you're more emotional, and you're far more likely to turn to food for comfort. On the other hand, when your body is nourished, you can actually tell the difference between physical hunger and emotional need, and also that primal hunger doesn't come in as much for a lot of people, because that space is where healing happens, where you can pause and ask, what am I actually craving right now? Food or comfort or rest, and then you can deliver what you need. You can't do that when your body's screaming for calories. So if you're wondering how to start, here's what I recommend. Begin with 3 meals and 2 snacks per day, spaced about every 3 to 4 hours. This is quite standard practice in the industry. Don't wait until you're starving. Use the clock as your guide. Set an alarm if you have to. You want to build your meals around the macros, so include carbs, proteins and fats in every meal, as well as fiber. And yes, you can include fun foods too. This isn't about cutting things out. It's about showing your body that there are no forbidden foods anymore. If you miss a meal, don't start over tomorrow, just get back on track at the next one. This is about progress, not perfection. This is what I would tell all my clients: progress, not perfection. You want to nourish yourself, not punish yourself. So in conclusion, mechanical eating isn't about control, it's about consistency. It's about building safety through predictability. You're not trying to eat perfectly, you're trying to show your body that you'll keep showing up for it with food, with care, and without shame. And once your body starts to trust that food is always coming, the binge and the urges start to fade away for a lot of people. And that guilt quietens and food just becomes food again, and you have this relationship where you can start to take it or leave it. And there are many other exercises that you can incorporate as well. So if you're ready to break free from emotional eating and stop the binge restrict cycle and rebuild trust with your body, you can watch my free masterclass at estaytherapy.com/free masterclass. I'll put it here. You can book a free consultation call with me at calendly.com/estaytherapy. I'll put all the links in the description box below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And remember, your body isn't the problem. It just needs consistency, safety, and compassion to heal. And then you can start to really get on board with your journey. So thank you again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave any questions you have in the description box, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.